Hi, I'm Nikki with Temple of Geek, and I'm at Anime Las Vegas, and we're talking to voice actor Derek Stephen Prince. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, enjoying Vegas so far?
Yeah.
Have you done any gambling?
No. I'm not a gambler.
No worries, me neither.
No.
Okay, so I kind of wanted to ease into this one, but I'm just going to do it. We have to talk about Bleach.
Yes.
Because, of course, as you all know, Derek voices the best boy in Bleach, Uryū Ishida. And what was your journey into voicing him in the original series?
My journey into voicing him. Like
how did you find out about the role and that kind of stuff?
So, Studiopolis had taken over part of what Saban used to do, and I think it was kind of like a dive in from Naruto, because I had started Naruto first, and then the owner of Studiopolis had asked if I wanted to audition for the show. So I auditioned. It was a really big deal at the time because I guess they wanted to just make sure everything was like perfect, the first time around.
Yeah.
So after I did the first audition, then I don't know if it was like a week or a couple weeks went by, but then I had a callback, which is very rare in anime to have a callback. Like, you normally only do that, like, maybe if it's like a regular original animated series. And then, so I did the callback. And then after the callback, it was like nothing. Dead silence. Nothing. Like, seriously. Like, and it's like, I thought I was like a shoo-in for the character. And it's like, then nothing happens. And like, it must have been at least a month, maybe a month and a half goes by.
Wow.
And I'm hearing from like other people, it's like, oh yeah, it's like I got cast in Bleach. It's like I got cast in Bleach. It's like, wow, okay, so I guess I'm not in the show. So I don't remember how it happened, but I think I had heard that Johnny Young Bosch was in the show. And so I called Johnny and I said, hey dude, so congrats, I hear you're in the show. He goes, yeah, dude, you too, man, it's gonna be awesome. And I'm going, what do you mean? He goes, well, yeah, aren't you like Uryu? And I'm going, I haven't heard from anybody. So he goes, well, yeah, dude, it's like we already started recording. I think you're going to be in the show. It's like, oh, well, nobody told me about it.
Hey,
so then I call the casting director and I go, so am I in the show? And he goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, you are.
Sorry, forgot
so
to
it's
call
like, okay. And that was like the first time that had happened. So that was like weird. It was one of those weird random things.
That's like a really funny story, though.
Yeah.
Like, hey, sorry, we forgot to call you.
Right.
By the way, you're in the show. Like, imagine if you didn't call Johnny.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, we're going to have to recast.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's weird. It's very strange.
So what was your favorite thing about voicing Ishida? He's like a very complex character, has a very tragic backstory, and is like the perfect foil to Ichigo being a Quincy.
Yeah. Like the anti-hero hero.
Yes.
I don't know how to quite answer that question yet. Only because
don't want to spoil anything.
We all know what's coming with Thousand Year Blood War.
I do too. I'm a manga reader, so.
So yeah. They're like, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who might be watching, but I all I gotta say is the best is yet to come.
Yes. And again, if manga readers are watching, it's gonna get crazy, and there's like added scenes. I heard like battles that weren't in the original manga, which I'm really excited to see. Yay!
Hopefully, crossing fingers.
Have they started recording Core 3? Okay. So you guys have that to look forward to.
Yep.
And I'm super excited. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen, even though I know what's going to happen.
Right.
So I'm going to skip this question because I'm like, where do you hope he's going to go in this arc? And I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
So another question is, how did they approach you about returning for Thousand Year Blood War?
I actually prodded the owner because I had already been. So this is for all of you guys. So for core Bleach fans, there's very few, if any, shows that I actually watch the original, the OJ, before I actually do the dub, because normally we just don't have time to do that stuff. But for this, I wanted to be very, very true to as much of the original as I possibly could. So it was important for me to start watching the OJ. And I had heard that it was in the process of being recorded, and there was like that whole big thing in Japan, like when they first started recording, because it's like, you can't do this because the original OJ actors are in these other shows and you can't have them all together recording. And it's like, no, of course we're going to have them all recording. So after I already knew that it was in the process of being recording, I called up the casting director again. I'm going, so...
Am I back?
I hear that they're back recording again. And he goes, oh yeah, well, we don't know when it's coming because, they haven't sent it to us yet. And usually that delay is like anywhere from like a month to maybe 6 weeks out from when it gets sent over. So I knew it was coming. I just didn't know like when it was coming. But yeah.
Like, especially because this arc is very Quincy-centric. Like, imagining not coming back to see where your character is going to go. Especially, like, again, a best boy like Ishida. I mean, you had some really good fillers, too, with him. The Bound arc was very Ishida-centric. Which was, that one's a really fun arc. I know people don't really like fillers, but the filler in Bleach is really fun. So please watch it.
I mean, if you didn't watch the filler, then you'd never get to see Best Boy, like, in bondage.
You know what?
Right?
Yeah, that's true. But he's a minor, so I'm like,
right?
I don't know how I don't know.
It's like, and it comes from out of nowhere. It's like, what is happening in this episode?
I think one of my favorite scenes, aside from his like introduction, becoming from anti-hero to kind of like more of a friend to Ichigo, is when he's tag teaming with Ichigo fighting Ukiura in Hueco Mundo. I love his relationship both with Ichigo and both with Orihime, and I feel like it was like the perfect spot for him to be. And if anyone was going to be there with Ichigo, it made sense for it to be him. So we're going to go into Naruto. We see that Naruto is making kind of a comeback with kind of like the newer animations. I don't know if you saw that. They're like they're reanimating some of the older episodes.
Really?
So judging from your expression, I guess you don't know much about it because I want to see if there's anything you could tell us about it.
There's nothing I can tell you about it. I have no idea.
But I know you are in Boruto.
Yes.
So is there anything you can tell us about what's going on with Shino? I know he's not like a main character in it, but
it's like, if you're gonna put somebody in there, at least do something with him. And it's like, he was in there for the very beginning, and then it's like, okay. That was fun. Thanks. Yeah.
He's a really interesting character. Man, a few words, got all his bugs. His bugs do the talking. So what's your favorite part about voicing Shino? Because we can't talk about voicing Ishida because we don't want to spoil anything, but there's really not much going on with Shino anymore.
Yeah, right. I think it's just like sometimes when there's not a lot up front from either the casting or through the story about a backstory for a character, you just have to make stuff up as an actor. So that's kind of what I did for him.
Oh, that's really cool.
I mean, I know as much as probably anybody else does as far as some of the backstory on him, with his dad, who, like, when do you ever see his dad? Never. But I also feel like, it's just one of those characters. It's like he's like not really an anti-hero, because he
Yeah.
is a hero, but it's just not, he's somebody that's overlooked a lot. Kind of like Best Boy, you know?
Kind of, but Best Boy gets a lot to work with, I think.
Yeah, this is true.
But I guess they do have something in common besides having the same voice actor, being very silent types.
Yeah.
Neglectful fathers.
Yes.
Ryuki Ishida, I love him to death, but he's not a good dad.
Yeah.
He did shoot his son with an arrow. I know there
Yeah.
was a purpose for it,
Yeah.
but again, not a good dad.
Right.
But the Ishida family is a very good-looking family, so I can forgive them for that. And one of my last questions is, we've been seeing an upsurge of like older series getting reboots, like Rumiko Takahashi's Yorosei Yatsura, and hopefully Ranma 1/2 eventually. And so would you be interested if they were to redo Love Hina?
Oh my God, that would be amazing. I think it would actually be fun, maybe not necessarily to do a reboot, but I know a lot of fans had been asking for stuff that happened in the manga that
Yeah.
never appeared in the show.
Yeah.
Maybe to go back and do some of that stuff.
That would be that honestly would be really fun. I know I don't look it, but I did watch Love Hina when I was a teenager, and it's a really, really good series if you guys haven't watched it. I don't think it's streaming anywhere though, so
Yeah.
I think one of the movies is on Crunchyroll, which is like the spring break movie with his
Okay.
sister, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, so remember people, Bleach is streaming on Hulu. The original series and 1,000 Year Blood War, and Core 3 hopefully coming in the next year. So please keep a lookout for that. And thank you so much, Derek.
Oh, you're welcome.
I really appreciate you taking the time and talking
Yeah.
to me about Best Boy.
Yes.
So bye, everyone.
Bye.